Hello everyone, welcome back to our CodeIgniter 4 tutorials. In this session, we are going to discuss about CRUD operation. I want to discuss this into two parts, guys. In one part, I want to cover create and view, and in the next part, we can see update and delete. So we already discussed about automatic CRUD operation in the early session. So this is what the model anatomy class we have. So this is we seen in the early. What automatic model will provide us? Automatic model will always provide us helper methods. So we already seen some examples also in the previous session. So without writing a SQL statement, we can get the data from database, right? By just using some of the helper methods, find all, and where some kind of limit queries, right? This is what we seen in the early session. Now I want to implement a CRUD operation by using the same guys, right? So this is the model anatomy we know, right? Yesterday we already created one table that is what nothing but employee table, I think. So from that employee table I want to implement a CRUD operation, and let us create a controller and let us create a model and implement add and view in this session. Go to your editor. Yes guys, here my controller is ready. So first of all, you have to go to your model, and this is my model, right? So we created employee model. I already created. So employee model extends model, and here I used only one property. In the earlier session also we did the same, but in this now I'm just using only one property, protected table equal to, that is the employees table. This table already we have. So you can go to your browser and check it. 1 minute. localhost/phpMyAdmin. Go and check it. In our CI4 we have the table called employees, and this is the employees table. We have already inserted some record inside of it also. Browse, and you can see some records inside of it. Let me do one thing, and let us go and truncate all this data, and we have to, that data we inserted manually in the early session. Now I want to insert the data programmatically. So we are going to create an employee add form. Whatever the data you are entering in that form, the data we have to collect and we have to save into that table by using automatic model. So we don't want to write any kind of insert query and all here. So there is a method called save method. Just pass the data to save method or insert method. So that's it. So that will take care about automatically, guys, right? Now, so this is the table now, and we don't have any data in the table right now. We emptied the table, right? So now what I need to do, I have to, so this is my table. This table should be imported into your controller, right? So let us go and import it. I'm just importing my model, and model instance should be created here. Why? Because if you want to use those helper methods, definitely we have to create the instance of the model. Let us take a global variable, and this variable should be instantiated with our model, right? I'm going to assign an instance, nothing but I'm taking a constructor. In the constructor I'm just using employee model and new employee model, right? So why we are using constructor only here? Because if you are defining any variable in the constructor, that is globally available to each and every of your controller methods. That's the reason we're just defining into controller. Now I want to create some methods, guys. Public function add emp, so is one method. So this method will add an employee. So definitely this is going to be add an employee. Let us go and define some methods, CRUD methods. Public function view emp. This method will view the employees. Let us write one more method here. Public function edit emp, but definitely edit emp should need a parameter. Let us take, initially I'm passing something called null, so we don't have any ID, that's why I'm passing something like, always is a good practice, assign a variable, take a variable with a null value. If you have a valid value, the null will be override with the valid value. Now another method I am defining delete emp. That's it, guys. Your CRUD methods are ready. So now in this session we are going to implement these two things, guys. How to add an employee, how to view all the employees. This is all view employees we already seen in the early session. Now I'm just going to implement add emp. Let us go and implement this. First of all, we have to create the form. So to do this, and I'm just going to my views folder, and let us go and views. Okay, let me create the employee add view. Yes guys, I created a file in the views folder, that is emp add view. The same view should be loaded into your controller, right? So just you can go here, return. I'm just going to view, return view. The view name is going to be emp add underscore view. This is my view name. And to this we have to pass some errors data also. Later we will pass it, guys. Right now I created a view, and what you have to do here, we have to extend the layouts base file after that section and end section, right? So I extended this layout base file because this is containing header and footer and placeholder also. To implement the placeholder, we have to add section, content and end section. So inside of it we have to take in our div container, row, call md12, something like. So I'm just taking this. Yeah, so this is my div container and row, call md12, and my title is going to be add employee. Up to here I'm just going to refresh my page, and let us go and check this, guys. Here, localhost, my controller name is employee slash add emp. Okay, sorry, this is going to be add emp, right? Okay, let us enter it. So we have add employee. So we have to create the form, right? Definitely. So to create the form, I'm using form open, form close. Definitely, if you are using form open, form close, helper should be imported. So you can go to your constructor and load the helper, helper, helper. What is the helper we have to load? The helper name is going to be the form helper. Done. So now you can save this also. Now form helper will be loaded, and check it always, is there any error? So we don't have any error, means that form helper imported. I mean form tag is also created. Now we have to add the form fields, guys. Add employee. There is some fields, name, email, salary, designation, such a fields, right? So let me add a field here. So first I'm adding the name of the employee. This is the field we have, and name is going to be, this is the class form control, that is a bootstrap class. The next field is going to be the email, and this is the email we have, just email with this field something called name is email, as well as class is equal to form control. The next one is going to be salary. So we added in the same manner. So let us do the same quickly. So this is going to be city. Let us have this also, city. And this is going to be designation. And I'm taking this simply as a DESC. And finally we need mobile. So we are adding mobile also. Okay, let me add this mobile also here. Mobile. Perfect, guys. Your form is ready. This is going to be mobile, and finally submit button required, right? Okay, let us remove this label and add the submit button. Input type submit, and name not required here. Value equal to submit. I'm taking simply submit, or you can make it as add also, add employee. This is going to be BTN and BTN primary. Yes, my form is ready. Now just go and refresh the page. Now you are able to see the add employee form. Form is ready. Once you submit the form, we have to validate it also, right? Sorry guys, we have to validate the form also. So this time I'm not going to do the validations by using our regular approach. So in CodeIgniter, for automatic models, there is some concept called validations and validation rules, validation messages and validation rules. Did you observe in the slide also I mentioned here? Can you see here validation rules and validation messages? We don't want to write them into your controller, that we can define the same rules, nothing defined here, nothing new here. What I want to say, the same rules what you used in our CodeIgniter controller earlier, we used it in the registration form, login form. The same rules we have to define into the validation rules array. If you want to define any custom messages for it, yes, we have to go and validation messages. Let us go and check this, guys. Now go to your model. So first I am going to my model. I have to define the validation messages. Go to your employee model. This is my employee model. So here we have to define a kind of validation messages, guys. What we have to define here, I'm copying all the things, guys, here. Let us make them here. Everything I'm just keeping them into this location. Primary key is required anyhow. So primary key is going to be the ID. In the table we have a column called ID, that is going to be primary key, and the remaining fields are going to be all these are, I'm just copying guys here, right? Can you see the allowed fields? So these are all the fields available in your table column. Remember, name, email, salary, city and designation are the fields we have. So I think we have to add the mobile field also, right? So this is going to be the mobile field, right? So why? Because in our database we have this field mobile, right? These are the 6 columns we added in the form. And use timestamp. This is very important. By default value is going to be the false guys here. If it is a false, these times are not going to be updated automatically in the database. We already seen created it, updated it, are the columns available in your table. Can you go and check the structure once again? And these are the columns, created it, updated it. So remember always, if this value is false, these 2 fields are not going to be updated automatically. So you have to make it as a true, then the time, created time, updated time will be updated automatically in the database. And anyhow, we know this return type is going to be array. Allowed fields is very important. Don't forget, what are the columns you want to allow to perform edit operation, delete operation or insertion, right? So these are very important. Some fields are there which are not going to be allowed. So at the time of created it, updated, these fields are I'm not mentioning there. So I am getting these fields only. So remember, created it, updated it, deleted it, also the fields of your table, but I am not mentioning in the allowed fields. So these are the fields where user can enter some data. Only those fields I kept into the allowed fields. You want to edit, or you want to delete, or you want to insert. So these fields are mandatory. So what are all the fields of data you are inserting or editing and deleting, that fields data should be available here. These are called allowed fields. Created data, this is all we know. Now the part here, can you see validation rules? So this is my name and this is my email and this is my salary. The same rules guys we can define here. If you want to define any kind of custom messages, yes, you can go and define these custom messages here. So for the email, I'm just defining some custom messages. Email, sorry, that email already taken. Required, email required, valid email, right? This is what just I taken there, right? So for these other fields also there, right? So we have something called mobile. So let us define those rules and regulations here. Mobile, required, and it should be numeric. EXACT, exact underscore length is going to be 10. I'm just taking here, sorry, exact length 10. Pipe symbol numeric, NUMERIC, numeric is the rule. For city, let us take city is only required field. I'm not making things, and you can see, and we know already how to validate the fields here. City, this is city, and one more thing is designation. Let us have designation, DESIGNATI, designation required. We know what are these associative array keys. Associative keys are exactly the name of the input fields. Can you see DESZ? Sorry, my field name is DESZ here. So then what I need to do here, definitely I have to mention something called DESZ here. Perfect guys. So this is how we can define the validation rules. This is a variable, and to this variable we have to pass rules array. And if you want to define any custom messages for each and every rule and each and every input field, and we can come down and we can define the custom messages for it guys. That's it. Now what I need to do here, when you are submitting the form, how do I know whether you submitted the form or not? Definitely, right? So we have to get the data and we have to insert it. First of all, we have to write a condition. If the form is submitted, if $this of request of post, request of get method, sorry, get method equal to post. I mean, if the form is submitted, then we have to collect the data, right? So let us collect the data guys here. How we can collect the data? Let us prepare this into an associative array, right? I'm just preparing this and associate this data variable. We have to pass to this EMP model. So there is a method called save method inside of it. Just pass the data, but anyhow we have to get the data from the form, right? Without that we can't do anything. So let us get the data guys quickly. We already know how to get the data from the form. let us get the data. This is the way of getting the data from the form. We have get where. To this method we are passing the name of the input field and we are getting the data, right? So now this data we have to pass to the model, guys. The model have a method. If let us write this data, this of emp model, that this of emp model has a method called save method. To this save method, just pass the data. That's enough. We don't want to write anything. So this is save is a predefined method in our automatic model. So just pass it. So it is going to return true if everything is okay. I mean, if any validations, that will taken care. We don't want to do anything. But one thing, we have to define the validation rules. And moreover, we have to pass errors also to these guys. Otherwise, how we can, if anything wrong in the form, we have to display the errors, right? To this view you have to pass. If everything is okay, if the record is inserted, then you are going to get the message called echo success. Anyhow, we will make it something, guys. Here just I'm writing something called success, but here we have to pass error messages, right? So let us pass the error messages which are available in your emp model. Emp model is going to throw an error message that we have to collect it, guys. Let us collect those error messages also. Yes, guys, this is the way of getting the errors. I'm passing an associative array here to the view. Errors is the key, and this is errors. Whatever the errors we are having here, those errors are going to be returned here, guys. So these are the errors we have, right? In the emp model we have some errors. These errors are going to be collected by using this method. What is the method we have? Errors method that we are going to pass to view. In the view, what we need to do, guys, in the view we have to display these error messages, and let us go and try to display these error messages also, guys. There, what happened, right? Anyhow, so now in the view page, what we need to do, we have to display these error messages. So how we can render the error messages here, and let us write this also, guys. Yes, guys, this is the code I written. If errors are not empty, so we have to display the errors. I mean, if there is no errors, no problem. If you have errors, we have to display them. Just I am writing a for each loop like this. Also we can iterate the errors, guys, here. So we are just displaying all the errors into a alert danger, nothing but in the particular div. Now you can go and submit the form, and I just want to check whether it's working or not. And where is my page here? Right, now you can go and check this, guys. Now I'm submitting my form. I don't have anything, so now you just submit. Can you see all the errors are coming there, right? So these are the error messages which are coming from your model, not from your controller. We didn't write anywhere the validation messages in our controller. See, my intention is here, you can use a model validation or you can use your own validation, nothing but in the login form, registration form, how we did the validation, in the same manner you can use it. If you don't want, you can go for model validation also. Whatever you are flexible, yes, you can use it, no problem, right? Now validations are working fine. So now we have to insert the data, right? If everything is okay, we have to get the success message, definitely. Now what I want to do here, in place of this success message, let me create some temp data and let me redirect to the same page, guys. So this is the session temporary data. If the record inserted, this method anyhow, save method will return true in the table, right? So set a temp data success employee added successfully and 2 seconds, nothing but the message will be available 2 seconds. It is going to redirect to same page. Anyhow, this error messages we have to display into the view, right? And let us go to the view and display this success message. Here I just want to display the success message as well. Yes, my success message, if temporary data is defined, and we are just printing this, and let us take this as a success class, alert success, right? Now it is going to be display a success message if the record is inserted. Shall we check now what is going to be happen? I'm just refreshing the page, right? So we don't have any records right now in this table. Now you can check it, very important. So ID is not controlled by you, ID is auto increment, so we don't want to define this. Name, email, mobile, salary, designation, city, these are the 6 fields only we are adding. In the same manner, if you can observe, this is very important. Again, I am repeating, in the employee model, allowed fields concept is very important for inserting, for deleting, for updating operations. Without this, it is not. Primary key is also required while we are getting data based on, sometimes we will get the data based on the conditions, right? This time also primary key is required, guys. But in the early, without these thing, nothing is there. Just only by using table property in the early session, we implemented a small fetching data program. But here, these are all the things required. Return type, anyhow, I mentioned array. Right now, this is very important. Use timestamp should be true, but in the manual you will get it as a false. If it is a false, timestamps are not going to be updated. Because of this true, that will be updated automatically, guys. Now let us go and insert the data here. And where is my browser? Right, so go and insert it. Right, so I'm entering some data here. Let us enter something called test at some dummymail.com. Salary, let us go and enter some salary. City, let us take something called HYDERA. Designation, developer, mobile, some mobile number. That's it, guys. 10-digit mobile number I just entered. I'm submitting it. Let us see if everything is okay. The designation field is required. Yes, I entered, right? So designation field I entered as a developer, but let me check it. What is the problem there? Designation DESZ field is required, and let us go to your validation and please check it, guys. What is the problem? Is there any spell mistakes? I don't know. So what exactly the name of the input field here we have? So can you go and check the field? Name is going to be DESZ. Perfect. The same DESZ we provided here. Required. Perfect, right? Okay, let me check it again. Yeah, so I entered some data, static data here, and let me try it again. My god, I need to check it, guys. Give me a minute please, I will check it. Guys, one thing I did here, we taken in the form DESZ, but I am taking this as a designation, as a table column name. So this is the designation. The same I'm updating here, designation, and this is already we have table column name, right? So I think this is the problem I'm thinking. In the controller also, is there anywhere? Yes, I just updated here also. While getting that form data, we have to mention the input field name, right? Okay, let me try now. I think it will be work for us. And wherever you have the designation, I'm just updated with the table column name, right? So let us enter some data here. Perfect, and enter the designation, enter some mobile number and try to submit the same, and let us submit this. If everything is okay, yes, employee added successfully. But did you written anywhere insert into table name? No, we didn't write anything, guys. And did you see what you did here in our controller? Just you pass the data to the save method. The save method is inserting the data automatically. But in your model, did you write anywhere insert into table name or any query builder class you use? No, we don't have any method first of all in my model class. But record is inserted or not? Let us go to database and please check this. There is a record is inserted or not. I'm just going to browse this, and can you see there is one record? Can you see the created it and updated it fields are updated automatically, and the field data was inserted automatically, guys. For example, so do one more transaction here. Go to your model. I'm making this use timestamps as false. I'm making this as wrong, guys. Now can you go and check this now? Try to add an employee one more time. So now I'm writing something called welcome. Write some dummy data. Yeah, so now I'm submitting the same again, guys. Now submit this. Now it is not record is inserted, but the timestamps are not going to be updated, because did you see you are getting something called 000 because of the value false, right? So that is the meaning of it, guys. Always remember, if you want to update the timestamps automatically, as set the value true, so timestamps will be added automatically. And moreover, I'm not providing all the field names, guys. Here, if you are not providing all the field names, can you see here I provided only 2 fields? Definitely it is going to give you an error, guys. Can you see now when we are submitting the data? Let us add some data. Right, I'm submitting it now. Can you see? You may get some error. Oh, employee added successfully. I don't know what happened. Oh, these values are taken it as an empty, guys. Why? Because I think we mentioned some fields here, right? Maybe, right? We are mentioning, but they are not there, but we are mentioning here. That's the reason I think so. Error is not actually, I expected error when I'm doing some practice. I got an error. That's the reason I thought that. Okay, no problem if you don't have error. Why? Because I'm getting the data here. I'm passing some empty values. If you are not getting the data, definitely you are going to get some empty data, right? I think. But anyhow, the fields are not updated. Did you see? What are the fields you mentioned in the allowed fields section? Those fields only inserted, those fields only updated. So it's mandatory to keep all the fields which you are getting from the form, right? Perfect, right? So this is all about adding, guys. Now I want to write a small logic quickly. Let us go to the view employee, guys. Here, this is going to be view employee. Definitely we have to load a view, return view, and this is going to be view emp. So this is the file we have to create now. So anyhow, this file we have to execute it, right? And go to the browser, and this is add emp. So later we will provide navigation links in the menu, don't worry. Now I am going to write something called view emp. This is the file. So we have error. Why? Because this view emp file is not available, right? So let me prepare this very quickly, guys. To this we have to pass data also, right? Let us pass $data. How can we get the data? This of emp model. In this we have a method called find all, right? We don't want to write any select query and all. We already seen this in the early session, right? So let us go and pass this called employees employees. Perfect. And the same data variable you have to pass here. That's it, guys. Your view. Now only thing, you have to create the view and display the data into a HTML table. So I am going to my views folder, and let us prepare the file. What is the file we have? So the file is going to be view emp file. Oh, let me create this file quickly, guys. Yes, guys, my code is ready. I'm just keeping the code here. Can you see the code what I did here? Nothing, just we have to extend the layout base of that placeholder content, and here we are taking a div, and we already know how to iterate the data. That's we seen in the early session, but early session we taken them into divs. Now I am taking the data into a table. If I have employees, then I'm displaying the table. Here I'm for each and every employee, I'm just displaying this data, guys. And go and check this. And earlier we have error because we don't have any view. Now can you see the data was there? You have inserted 3 records. You are able to get the data. The only thing at the end of it, I want to add one more column, guys. Here one more extra column is going to be action. Let us do something called name it as action, right? So here I just want to add 2 links to this edit and delete ahref. So this is going to be edit, and this is going to be delete link. If you want, you can take them into an icons also, or if you want, you can display them as a buttons. Yes, we can display them as a button, but right now they are going to be the anchor tags: edit and delete, edit and delete, edit and delete. If you can click this edit record, that record should be edited. If you can click this delete record, yes, this record should be deleted, right? So this is what we are going to implement in the next session, guys. Right, so this is all about the CRUD operation part 1, and in the part 2 we are going to implement edit operation and delete operation. Please try to do the same, and it's very interesting. Seriously, we don't have any model methods, but simply this is model anatomy. Seriously, guys, most of the people may use this because this feature is available in CodeIgniter 4 only. In 3 we don't have this kind of feature. In 3 we have to go for traditional way. For everything we have to write a method, and we have to define insert query, delete query, update query into it based on our requirement. But here your model is almost all 30 lines of code. That's it. Your model is ready, and we don't want to write any methods also. This is too secure to write. Seriously, yeah. Thank you, guys. In the next session we will continue the part 2 of the CRUD operation. Thank you all. If you have any doubts, please comment under the video section, and please subscribe our channel. Thank you all.